Straighten it out. There you go. Good afternoon. For those who want to unify the country and bridge the gap between most of the country and those who are still screaming that the election was a fraud and our democracy is in shambles and blah blah blah, don't bother. Don't try to come to terms with them. Don't try to bridge any gaps or deprogram them or any of the other terms I've heard bandied about because one, it's a waste of time, and B, they're better off where they are. If they want to destroy their party, let them. The Republicans are eating their own and threatening the lives of the ones with any integrity and threatening to not vote in Georgia or write in Trump's name. The Republicans had 4 years to try to rein in Trump's idiocy, and they didn't. Everyone was warned how bad it would be under Trump back in 2016, and enough didn't listen that he got elected. They didn't listen to reason then, so why reward them with your time and energy now? They've been shoveling their shit in every direction since his election. Let them stew in it now. If they want to think the Democrats are putting stuff in the water to make frogs gay, and the deep state is running a child sex slave operation out of the basement of a pizza place that doesn't even have a basement, and the whole election was a fraud, and democracy is broken, I say, let them think that. Most of the country, including a portion of folks who voted both times for Trump, don't fall into that category. Why be concerned about the ones who do? Even most Republican officials don't believe all the wackadoodle, but are too cowardly to push against it. The blowback from their cowardice is going to affect them most. Just let it play out. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A brave man dies but once. Speaking of death, if we had been as noisy about testing for the Trump virus as his followers are about the election, we might have testing for everyone who wants it 11 months after we first found out about it. In fact, if we had proper testing by April, we could have avoided all the nonsense, figured out who had it, who had antibodies, or who was uninfected. That way, we could have avoided any shutdowns, and Trump would have gotten reelected. But because he loves confusion and thinks it always works to his advantage, he was against testing. He was way off this time. To anyone who thinks he's playing 3D chess, in a way, he is. He's just a real shitty player. If you're not a good player and your only strategy is to troll and trigger your opponent, all you'll end up doing is lose to a really pissed off opponent. And as his opponents are now on both sides of the aisle, all those may unify to battle a common aggressor. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And for all those who want to start a war when Trump is gone, just remember what the One Democrat poster wrote. We own guns too. We just don't masturbate over them in public. I have been on a somewhat program of self-development for a few years now. It started more or less in a hospital bed in Miami. I got hit by a car in Key West and life flighted to Jackson Memorial Hospital with bones sticking out of my legs. And after weeks in the hospital, on my back, barely able to move, then months in a wheelchair, much of it on the streets, in pain and self-medicating, I finally got some resources, got a shop, and started to change how I think and do things. I'm way far from where I want to be, but I'm trying and a little harder every day. And I'm far from the person who could barely walk, was drunk, and sleeping under a bridge. But the biggest change is in my mindset, my willingness to grow, and my belief that I can, that I have it in me. And most of that came from many hours on the net and a few books, which went from technical, like how we function neurologically, to the more mundane, like building habits, discipline, and motivation, to the psychology and philosophy centered, for me anyways, mostly on REBT, Stoicism, Buddhism, and Taoism. But it includes stuff like exercise, meditation, regular sleep, diet, journaling, cold showers, etc. And most of this stuff is basic to most of those I have read or seen. And this includes teachers, scientists, monks, athletes, business people, investors, U.S. Special Forces personnel, the list goes on. But however varied any of the rest of it may be, there is a common mindset among them all. And it's not a single simple thing, it's multifaceted and complex. But they all seem to share it. And a big part of that is being successful in any aspect of life is not the domain of the great. It's the domain of those willing to do what others aren't. And maintaining that is hard. But what is even harder is changing in the first place. It entails getting out of your comfort zone and identifying and taking healthy risks and learning to act in spite of your fears, not trying to beat them down or disavow them, and being kind and forgiving to yourself and others, knowing we all share the same struggle, and that the only real losers in life are the ones who either don't even try or deem being successful in the eyes of others is the most important thing. But the point of all this is, everything they say, all the wisdom they impart on how to think and act if you want to be a better person and grow and enjoy life more regardless of circumstances, all of it is diametrically opposed to almost everything Trump does, all of his actions and all of his words. In short, we have a slew of people out there trying to create a better, richer, larger life for everyone, but their message is constantly offset by one very noisy man who is trying to make life smaller, meaner, and poorer for everyone. From his diet, to his tweets, to his TV watching, to his antagonistic view of exercise, to his laziness, to his thin-skinned, knee-jerk reactions to any smallest slight, real or perceived, his every behavior is a testament to how not to behave if you want to grow, achieve a level of mental toughness, and enjoy life. Ultimately, all of the self-help gurus, the ones I've vetted anyway, say, whatever about you is broke, you have to fix it. I'll point to the tool, but then the finger is unimportant. You have to go over, bend down, pick up the tool, and use it. Trump's biggest lie was, I alone can fix it. And it was his biggest because not only was it empirically untrue, but he did the exact opposite. As the most visible role model in the world, he tried everything he could to keep you from fixing it. For anyone who's thrown in their lot with that petty, self-destructive menace, we and democracy are better off letting them be. Improve yourself, then go on to help others. You'll know who they are when you tell them, I can help you, but you alone can fix it. And they accept that. Trump is not only not the territory, he's not the map, and he's not even the guide. If you want to help somebody who's following him, you're as lost as they are. I want to thank you for watching. Down below is a link for my Patreon page, and I will ask if you would please subscribe. Click the like button, click the notification bell, leave a comment, and again, I thank you for watching. And if you didn't watch, well, what's wrong with you, man? All right, talk to you later.